Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters. Welcome back to Global Coin News. Stop before you scroll away or dismiss the small copper coins hiding quietly in old jars, drawers, or forgotten piggy banks. Let me ask you one powerful question. What if a single 1-cent coin, something most people overlook every single day, could actually be worth thousands of millions, or even life-changing money right now? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the most valuable top 6 United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1-cent coins, coins struck with different mint marks, rare conditions, and incredible stories that have turned ordinary collectors into very lucky people. Stay with me till the end, because one of these pennies might already be sitting in your home. So let's get started. First up, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1956 with no mint mark. A coin in fine condition that many people overlook, but collectors know is always worth a closer look. This is not just about a penny. This is about history, rarity, condition, and how small details can turn everyday change into real money in today's auction market. To truly understand the value of the 1956 Lincoln WheatPenny, we need to go back in time. The Lincoln Wheat Cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and that decision changed American coinage forever. By the time 1956 arrived, the United States was in the post-World War II era, a time of economic growth, rising consumer culture, and expanding everyday spending. Pennies like the 1956 wheat cent were used constantly in daily life, passing through countless hands at grocery stores, gas stations, and local shops. Because these coins were so common in circulation, very few people thought to save them, which is exactly why surviving examples in decent condition still attract attention today. The 1956 Lincoln WheatPenny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. A missing mint mark on a U.S. coin does not mean it is an error. Instead, it indicates Philadelphia production, which at that time did not use a mint mark. These coins were made primarily of copper, giving them that warm reddish-brown tone that collectors love. On the obverse, we see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's calm expression, sharp facial details, and the inscriptions "I in God We Trust, Liberty" and the date 1956 give the coin a strong, classic appearance. On the reverse, the famous wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. This wheat design symbolizes America's agricultural strength, and remained in use until 1958. Making the 1956 issue one of the final years of the beloved Wheat Cent series. When we talk about unique features, condition plays a massive role. A fine condition 1956 WheatPenny still shows clear details in Lincoln's hair, face, and coat, while the wheat lines on the reverse remain visible and well-defined. Although the coin has seen circulation, it has not been worn flat or damaged beyond recognition. This balance between age and preservation is exactly what many entry-level and intermediate collectors look for. Fine condition coins represent history you can still clearly see and feel, without the extremely high price tags of uncirculated examples. In terms of rarity, the 1956 WheatPenny is rare in mintage numbers, as millions were produced. However, rarity in the coin world is not only about how many were made, but how many survive today in collectible condition. Many 1956 pennies were heavily worn, damaged, cleaned, or melted over the decades. Finding one in fine condition, with natural color, and no major scratches or corrosion, instantly increases its desirability. Collectors building complete Lincoln Wheat Cent sets always need this date, and demand remains steady because new collectors enter the hobby every year. Now let's talk about the part everyone cares about, the current market value in dollars. A 1956 Lincoln WheatPenny without a mint mark in fine condition typically sells for a modest premium over face value, often ranging from around $585,000 depending on eye appeal, color, and overall preservation. Coins with better surfaces, stronger details, or attractive original toning can sometimes sell for more, especially in online auctions where competitive bidding pushes prices higher. While this coin worth $1 million, it represents a solid, respectable value for a 1 cent coin and proves that even common-day wheat pennies still have a real place in today's market. For collectors, there are important tips to keep in mind. Always examine your 1956 wheat penny carefully under good lighting. Look for natural color, avoid harshly cleaned coins, and check for damage along the rims. Storage matters as well. Using proper coin holders or flips can help preserve the coin's condition and prevent future wear. It's also wise to compare recent auction results to understand realistic pricing rather than relying on exaggerated claims. Patience is key, as holding on to a well-preserved coin can sometimes pay off as collector interest continues to grow. The United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1956 without a mint mark is a perfect example of how everyday coins can carry lasting value. It connects us to American history, reflects the artistry of classic coin design, and offers collectors an affordable yet meaningful piece of the past. Next up, we're diving deep into one of the most legendary coins in American history, the United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1955, struck without a mint mark, a coin that has shocked collectors, made headlines, and turned ordinary people into accidental treasure hunters. The story of the 1955 Lincoln WheatPenny begins in the heart of American coinage history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Wheat cent quickly became a symbol of everyday American life. By 1955, the United States Mint in Philadelphia, identified by the absence of a mint mark, was producing millions of pennies to keep up with post-war economic growth. But something extraordinary happened during that year. A small number of coins were struck with one of the most dramatic minting errors ever seen, an error so bold it could be spotted with the naked eye and would go on to become one of the most famous pennies in the world. What makes the 1955 Lincoln WheatPenny so special lies in its unforgettable design details. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait faces right, just as it had since 1909, with the words "I in God we trust" above his head and "Liberty" to the left. The date 1955 sits on the right, but on the rare and valuable variety, that date appears doubled, thick, and almost ghost-like. The words "Liberty" and "I in God we trust" also show dramatic doubling, creating a bold, almost blurry effect that immediately grabs attention. This is not damage, not wear, and not a trick of the light. It is a true double die error created during the die manufacturing process. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above, completing the iconic wheat cent design that ended just 3 years later in 1958. Rarity is where this coin truly earns its legendary status. While millions of regular 1955 Lincoln Wheat pennies were struck in Philadelphia, only a tiny fraction left the mint with this dramatic double die error. Many of these coins entered circulation before the mistake was noticed, meaning they were spent, saved, and handled like ordinary pennies. Even today, most surviving examples are in circulated condition, showing wear on Lincoln's cheek and jawline, softened wheat stalks on the reverse, and a brown copper tone developed over decades. Yet despite this wear, collector demand remains incredibly strong. The boldness of the doubling, the fame of the error, and its place in numismatic history make it one of the most desirable error coins ever produced by the US Mint. Now let's talk about the part everyone wants to know. The current market value. A normal 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny without the double die, even in circulated condition, is usually worth only a few cents to a few dollars. But the genuine 1955 double die obverse penny is in an entirely different league. Even heavily circulated examples can sell for $395,000 at auction. Well-worn coins with clear doubling often trade in the range of $1.3 million, depending on eye appeal and authenticity. Higher-grade circulated pieces can climb even further, and uncirculated examples have sold for astonishing five-figure prices. This is one of the rare cases where a circulated penny can still represent serious, life-changing money. For collectors and treasure hunters, this coin offers valuable lessons. Always check the date closely, especially the thickness and doubling of the numbers and lettering. Learn the difference between true double die errors and machine doubling, which has no added value. Never clean a coin, no matter how tempting it may be, because cleaning can destroy thousands of dollars in value instantly. If you believe you've found a genuine 1955 double die penny, professional authentication from a reputable grading service is essential. Knowledge, patience, and careful handling are what separate lucky finds from costly mistakes. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark stands as proof that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places. It reminds us that history, errors, and chance can collide to create something truly remarkable. A small copper coin, passed from hand to hand for nearly 70 years, can still stop collectors in their tracks and command millions of dollars today. Next up, we are diving deep into the story of the United States Lincoln Wheat penny 1 cent from 1946, struck without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, and now standing out as one of the most interesting and potentially valuable post-war American coins in the current auction market. This is not just a coin. This is a survivor of history, a witness to change, and for collectors, a serious opportunity. To truly understand why the 1946 Lincoln WheatPenny matters, we need to step back in time. The year 1946 was a turning point for the United States. World War II had just ended, soldiers were returning home, industries were shifting from wartime production back to civilian life, and the American economy was entering a new era of growth and optimism. The U.S. Mint resumed normal coin production after years of wartime pressure, and copper once again flowed into pennies instead of steel, which had been used in 1943. The Lincoln Wheat design, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was still in use, but its days were numbered, as it would be replaced just 12 years later in 1958. The 1946 issue therefore sits in a fascinating historical position, bridging the wartime years and the modern post-war United States. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1946 Lincoln WheatPenny without any mint mark, which is exactly what makes this coin identifiable. Unlike coins struck in Denver with AD or San Francisco with an S, Philadelphia coins of this era carried no mint mark at all. Millions were produced, but sheer mintage numbers do not tell the full story. Over decades of circulation, countless examples were worn down, damaged, cleaned improperly, or lost altogether. Finding a 1946 no mint mark WheatPenny today in very fine condition, with clear details and strong original surfaces, is far more challenging than many people realize. When you examine the coin closely, its features tell a story of craftsmanship and symbolism. On the obverse, you see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. In very fine condition, Lincoln's facial features remain sharp, his hair details are still visible, and the coat lines are well defined. The inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1946 remain clear and legible, not faded into the background as they are on heavily circulated coins. These details matter deeply to collectors, because they separate an ordinary penny from a premium collectible. The reverse displays the iconic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum proudly above. In a very fine example, the wheat stalks still show individual lines and texture, rather than appearing flat or smooth. This reverse design represents agricultural strength, unity, and prosperity, themes that resonated strongly with Americans rebuilding their lives after the war. It is this combination of design, symbolism, and historical timing that gives the 1946 WheatPenny its lasting appeal. Rarity, however, is not only about how many coins were struck. It is about how many have survived in desirable condition. Most 1946 WheatPennies were heavily circulated for decades, often used by multiple generations before being discarded or damaged. Very fine condition coins strike a balance that collectors love. They show honest circulation, proving they are genuine and original, yet they retain enough detail to be visually impressive. This grade is especially attractive because it reflects real history without sacrificing beauty. For collectors, such coins represent authenticity, and demand continues to grow as more people enter the hobby and seek classic American coins with real stories behind them. In today's auction market, the value of a 1946 Lincoln WheatPenny without a mint mark can vary widely depending on condition, eye appeal, and any special characteristics. Common circulated examples may only be worth a few cents or a few dollars, but very fine condition coins are in a completely different category. When combined with exceptional preservation, original color, strong strike, or even rare errors such as double dies or off-center strikes, prices can climb dramatically. High-end examples, particularly those certified by professional grading services, have been known to reach into the $1.6 million at auction. This is where collectors and investors pay close attention, because the difference between an ordinary penny and a four-figure collectible often comes down to condition and authenticity. For collectors hoping to find or invest in a 1946 WheatPenny, patience and knowledge are key. Always examine coins under good lighting and magnification, looking for sharp details, natural surfaces, and signs of originality. Avoid coins that have been harshly cleaned, as cleaning can severely reduce value. Storage also matters. Keeping coins in proper holders, away from moisture and extreme temperatures, helps preserve their condition over time. For those serious about value, professional grading can add credibility and confidence, especially when selling or auctioning a coin. Learning market trends and following recent auction results can also help collectors understand when demand is rising and when it may be best to buy or sell. The United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1946 without a mint mark is far more than spare change. It is a piece of American history, a symbol of resilience after war, and a reminder that value is not always obvious at first glance. In very fine condition, this coin captures the attention of collectors worldwide and continues to prove that even the smallest denomination can carry significant worth. Next up, we're uncovering the real story behind the United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1958 with no mint mark, a coin that marks the end of an era and still holds serious interest in the collector market. Watch this video till the end, because what you're about to learn might completely change how you look at old pennies forever. The history of the 1958 Lincoln WheatPenny is deeply tied to American heritage and transition. Introduced originally in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the WheatPenny became one of the most iconic coins ever produced by the United States Mint. By 1958, this design had reached its final chapter. That year was the last time the famous wheat ears appeared on a US 1-cent coin before being replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. A 1958 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place mint marks on coins at the time. This single year represents the closing of a nearly 50-year chapter in American coinage, instantly giving it historical importance that collectors deeply respect. When you take a closer look at the 1958 Lincoln WheatPenny, its features tell a powerful story. On the obverse, you'll see Victor D. Brenner's legendary portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the inscriptions "I in God we trust," "Liberty," and the date 1958. Even in circulated condition, the strength of Lincoln's profile often remains clear, showing the craftsmanship of early 20th century engraving. On the reverse, the two wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that warm reddish-brown color collectors love. Over time, circulation turns many of these coins brown, but that natural aging adds character rather than reducing interest. Now let's talk about rarity and why collectors still chase this coin today. While standard 1958 wheat pennies were produced in large numbers, demand remains strong because it is the final wheat penny ever minted. Even in circulated condition, collectors want examples with clear dates, readable lettering, and original surfaces. What truly drives excitement, however, are rare varieties and striking errors from this year. The most famous is the 1958 double die obverse, one of the most dramatic and valuable penny errors in U.S. history. Coins with strong doubling on Liberty and "I in God we trust" are incredibly rare, and even worn examples are aggressively hunted by collectors. This is why people still carefully inspect every 1958 penny they find, hoping to discover something extraordinary. When it comes to current market value, this is where things get exciting. A normal 1958 wheat penny in circulated condition may sell for only a few dollars, depending on its appearance. However, high-grade examples and especially rare era varieties completely change the story. Authentic 1958 double die obverse pennies have sold for $485,000 at major auctions, with some examples reaching well over $635,000 depending on condition and strength of the doubling. Even circulated era coins can bring life-changing money if properly authenticated. This massive price gap is exactly why collectors never ignore this date, and why it remains one of the most searched wheat pennies today. For collectors, owning or hunting a 1958 Lincoln WheatPenny requires patience and knowledge. Always examine the coin under good lighting and magnification, paying close attention to the lettering and date. Never clean the coin, as cleaning can destroy its value instantly. If you believe you've found a rare variety or strong error, professional authentication by a reputable grading service is essential before selling or investing further. Storing the coin in a protective holder and keeping it away from moisture will preserve its condition and long-term value. The United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1958 without a mint mark is far more than just spare change. It represents the final heartbeat of the WheatPenny era, a symbol of American history, craftsmanship, and transition. While many examples are common, the possibility of rare varieties and high-value errors keeps collectors searching, checking, and dreaming. That small, circulated penny you almost ignored could be nothing, or it could be the reason you never look at loose change the same way again. So before you toss that old penny aside, take a closer look, because history, rarity, and real money might be hiding right in your hands. Next up, the United States Lincoln WheatPenny from 1957 with the Denver D mint mark may look ordinary at first glance, especially in circulated condition, But behind that familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln lies a story of American history, minting craftsmanship, and collector fascination that refuses to fade. We are diving deep into the 1957 Lincoln WheatPenny, exploring why this coin still matters, what makes certain examples extremely valuable, and how some rare specimens can command astonishing prices in today's action-packed coin market. The Lincoln WheatPenny is one of the most iconic coins ever produced by the United States Mint. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. By 1957, America was in the heart of the post-World War II era, a time of economic growth, industrial expansion, and rising everyday commerce. The Denver Mint struck the 1957 WheatPenny in massive numbers to meet the demand for small change across the country. This was also near the end of the WheatPenny era, as the reverse design would change to the Lincoln Memorial just 2 years later in 1959. That timing alone gives the 1957 a special place in numismatic history, representing one of the final chapters of a beloved coin series. On the obverse, or front, you'll find a classic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, framed by the motto "I in God We Trust" above and the word "Liberty" to the left, with 1957 stamped boldly on the right. Right beneath that date, small but unmistakable, is the D Mint mark. This invisible to the untrained eye letter tells collectors that this coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Flip the coin over to the reverse, and you'll see what gives the WheatPenny its name: two elegant stalks of wheat arching along the edges, cradling the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above it is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, out of many, one a reminder of the coin's place in American identity. The coin is composed primarily of copper, giving it that warm reddish-brown tone that collectors love. In circulated condition, many examples show smoothing on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and coat, as well as wear on the wheat stalks, yet these signs of age also tell a story of real-world use and American daily life. On the surface, the 1957 Lincoln WheatPenny is not considered rare because hundreds of millions were minted. However, rarity in coin collecting is not only about mintage numbers. It is also about condition, eye appeal, and unusual characteristics. Most surviving examples today are heavily circulated, with dull surfaces and flattened details. Coins that retain sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear become far more desirable. Even more exciting are error coins and exceptional high-grade specimens. Double-die errors, off-center strikes, and coins with unusually strong strikes can transform an otherwise common penny into a collector's prize. In top mint state grades, especially those with blazing red copper color and no major imperfections, demand rises dramatically among serious collectors and registry set competitors. In average circulated condition, a typical 1957 WheatPenny may only be worth a small premium over face value. However, the story changes completely when you move into higher grades or rare error varieties. Well-preserved uncirculated examples can sell for $268,000, depending on color and sharpness. At the very top of the grading scale, certified mint state coins with exceptional preservation have reached prices in the $576,000 at auction. These four-figure values are usually reserved for coins graded at the highest levels, often MS-67 or above, or for dramatic mint errors that collectors aggressively pursue. This is why checking your coins carefully is so important, because the difference between a common penny and a high-value collectible can come down to small details invisible to the untrained eye. If you believe you have a 1957 Lincoln WheatPenny worth closer inspection, start by examining it under good lighting and magnification. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the wheat stalks, and the mint mark for signs of doubling, unusual textures, or striking errors. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can severely reduce its value. Store it in a proper coin holder to protect it from further wear and environmental damage. For coins that appear unusually sharp or colorful, professional grading from a respected third-party service can help authenticate the coin and unlock its true market potential. Educating yourself about grading standards and recent auction results will also give you an edge when buying or selling. The United States Lincoln WheatPenny from 1957 with the Denver Mint mark is a perfect reminder that even the smallest coin can carry enormous historical and financial significance. While most circulated examples remain modest in value, exceptional pieces can rise into the millions of dollars, captivating collectors and fueling excitement in the coin market. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning to explore the world of rare coins, the 1957 WheatPenny deserves your attention. Next up, before you scroll away or ignore the small copper coin hiding quietly in an old drawer, a glass jar, or a forgotten coin album, let me ask you something powerful. What if a single 1-cent coin from 1945, a year that changed the entire world, could still be worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money today? In this video, we are uncovering the real story behind the United States Lincoln WheatPenny 1 cent from 1945 with no mint mark, a coin struck during the final moments of World War II, a coin many people overlook, but serious collectors know deserves a second, very careful look. Stay with me till the end, because what you are about to learn could completely change how you see this simple copper penny. The history of the 1945 Lincoln WheatPenny is deeply connected to one of the most important periods in American and world history. This coin was minted just as World War II was coming to an end, during a time of economic transition, relief, and rebuilding. The United States Mint had already returned to copper composition after the unusual steel pennies of 1943, and by 1945, copper once again symbolized strength, recovery, and stability. The Philadelphia Mint, which used no mint mark at all, produced these coins for everyday circulation, meaning they passed through countless hands at a time when America was celebrating peace and looking toward the future. Every 1945 WheatPenny without a mint mark carries that powerful historical energy, making it far more than just loose change. When we look closely at the unique features of this coin, its beauty becomes clear even in circulated condition. Let's talk about the coin itself. At first glance, the 1945 Lincoln WheatPenny looks like any other old copper cent. Lincoln's profile facing right, the words "I in God we trust" above, and the date 1945 with no letter beneath it. That blank space tells you immediately that the coin was minted at Philadelphia, the oldest U.S. mint. Flip it over, and you'll find the wheat design, two stalks embracing the words 1 cent with United States of America above and E pluribus unum arching at the top. It's elegant and symbolic, reminding us that even a humble penny carries the collective story of a nation. But subtle features matter. The color of the coin, whether it's deep red, red-brown, or brown, dramatically affects its value, as collectors prize original luster and minimal wear. A coin in very fine or mint state condition, especially with vivid original surface and color, is what separates a nostalgic keepsake from a serious collectible. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's profile stands strong and dignified, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the words "I in God we trust" boldly across the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1945 clearly visible. In very fine condition, Lincoln's hair details, coat lines, and facial features remain sharp, showing moderate wear but excellent definition. On the reverse, the iconic wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing America's agricultural strength. In very fine grade, the wheat lines are still strong, and the lettering is crisp, giving the coin a balanced and attractive appearance that collectors truly appreciate. Rarity is where this coin becomes especially interesting. While millions of 1945 WheatPennies were minted, finding one today in very fine condition or better is becoming increasingly difficult. Many were heavily circulated, damaged, cleaned, or lost over time. Collectors value original surfaces, natural color, and honest wear, and a well-preserved very fine example stands out in today's market. Demand increases even more when the coin shows strong strike quality, minimal marks, and no signs of harsh cleaning. Errors, dye varieties, or exceptionally well-preserved examples graded by professional services can push collector interest to a whole new level. Now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know, the current market value in dollars. A standard 1945 Lincoln WheatPenny without a mint mark in very fine condition can already sell for solid money compared to face value, often ranging from $765,000 depending on eye appeal and demand. However, when condition improves, or when the coin is professionally graded, prices rise sharply. High-grade examples, rare errors, or coins with exceptional preservation have sold for $1.5 million at auctions, especially when collectors compete for top-quality pieces. This is why even a single 1945 WheatPenny deserves close inspection, because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary can mean a massive jump in value. For collectors, owning or searching for this coin requires patience and knowledge. Always examine the coin under good lighting and magnification, paying close attention to details, color, and surface quality. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can destroy its value instantly. Store it properly in protective holders to preserve its condition. If you believe you have a high-quality or unusual example, professional grading can help confirm authenticity and unlock its true market potential. Staying updated on auction results and collector trends will also give you a strong advantage in understanding real value. The 1945 United States Lincoln WheatPenny without a mint mark is far more than a simple 1-cent coin. It is a piece of history, a symbol of a world emerging from war, and a collectible that continues to grow in demand year after year. Whether you are a beginner, a seasoned collector, or someone who just discovered an old penny in a drawer, this coin proves that hidden treasures still exist in the smallest places. So before you spend, sell, or ignore that old copper penny, take a closer look, because it might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon, because the next coin we uncover could be sitting in your pocket right now. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time, rarity, and value. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and keep collecting.